All right, welcome guys. Quick video just explaining some of the logic and different incrementers and decrementers. So this will come up a bit, and let's begin. So first thing to note, and we've seen this before, plus plus means that we add 1 to whatever number's in front. So in this case, 4 plus plus is equal to 5. Same thing, if it was minus minus, that means it would be, right, 4 minus minus would equal to 3. So that's the first part. Here's where it can get confusing though. And we talked a little bit about this in the past. So here we have y equals x plus plus. And what this means is that whatever value x is, we're going to assign that to y first. And then we're going to add 1 to x, and that will become the new value of x. Whereas with plus plus x, right, you're going to add 1 to x first, and then whatever value x is, that gets assigned to y. So can get confusing. What I like to do is I look at the order where the plus plus is coming from. If it's second, then I know the adding is happening second. Whereas if the plus is it to the left of the x, then I know the adding is happening before, and that's the first thing. Okay, so let me show you an example here. Great, so we got our whiteboard, and let's do one with x plus plus. Excuse the writing, and let's do one of plus x. Great. So in the first one, let's say that x is equal to 2, or more correctly, 2 gets assigned to x, and let's say that x is assigned to y. All right, so in the first example here, we're going to assign x to y first. So that means y becomes 2. And then secondly, because of the plus plus, then we increase 1 to x, and that becomes 3. Right? And then we end off with x is equal to 3, y is equal to 2. Here's how it's different. So now this is plus plus x is equal to 2. And again, y equal to x. So in this case, because plus plus is to the left of x, that means we need to add first. So x becomes 3. And now y also becomes 3. Boxes around these. And there we go. Right, so this part can be confusing. I'll pause the video, or if you're watching at home, you can pause the video home and just review these. But very subtle differences, but it could lead to major differences. All right, let's go back to our slides. So we've covered this one. Other than plus plus, we won't use these as much, but we do have other shortcut operators. So x plus equals 2 is the same as adding 2 to the value of x. Here we have x divided equals y, and what that is x, new value of x is equal to the old value of x divided by y, and so on. Okay, here's the next thing we need to focus on. So on the right hand side, These ones are stuff that we've seen in math in the past, greater than, less than. This one is greater than or equal to. This one is less than or equal to. Okay, on the left-hand side here, here's where things are different. So when we're doing comparisons, right, if we want to see if x is equal to y, we have to use two equal signs. Okay, so don't get that mixed up with one equal sign. Right, one equal sign, if we go backwards, one equal sign is when we're assigning a variable to another variable or a value to a variable. Two equal signs is when we're comparing two variables or two values. Okay, the next thing that's new for us is this exclamation mark. So this exclamation mark means not, right? Or think of it also like a negative sign. So not exclamation mark equal sign means is not equal to. You can also use it down here. So true is definitely equal to not false. Okay, so pause again if you need. All right, here's some examples. So we also have they call them ampersands, a double ampersand. What this means is and. So in order for this whole statement to be true, we need x equal to 10 to be true, and we also need y less than 0 to be true. It's not only when both of these are true is the whole statement true. Okay, here's where the next one is different. So this one down here means or. And or means that only one of these conditions has to be true in order for the whole thing to be true. Right, so either x is not equal to 10 is true, or y is greater than -2. Great. And then from here, so we might have seen this a little bit in the past, but we call this casting, and say we wanted to take this decimal number and turn it into an integer, right? We would put it in brackets, and to the left, we would put int in brackets, and that turns this decimal number into the number 3 as an integer. Right, likewise, math.random, right, gives us a decimal number. We'll learn this eventually as well. But if we wanted it to turn it into an integer, we would put it to the right of int. Okay, you can also do this where you're taking a number and you cast it as char, and it'll produce the char, the character that's representative of that number. Right, or vice versa. You can take a char, cast it as an int, and it will give you the integer that represents it. Okay, here we have parsing. So this is another way of turning a string into an integer. So you'll take whatever string there is, drop it into the brackets, integer.parse int, that saves to the variable x. Same thing, you can parse with double as well. Okay, so from here, we'll work on the logic sheet. There will also be a truth table sheet that we'll work on as well. All right, let me know if there's any questions.